Egypt. It has to be one of the most captivating countries in the world. It's a country that we all know about. We all grew up seeing it in our textbooks, knowing everything about it, hearing all of the legends. It's surrounded by mystique on who built the pyramids. Was it us? Was it someone else? Who knows? Once your feet hit the sand, everything comes together. Egypt is a country of stories, and under each grain of sand is 6,000 to 10,000 years of human civilization. Almost anything that's ever happened in the world has happened somewhere on the soil. This isn't just some place in the desert. This is the story of us. Now my story, it begins in Cairo. So you've got Cairo, Giza, New Cairo, and a bunch of other cities all kind of tucked around the Nile River. It makes up 66 million people. When you get that many people in that little of a space, you'll see some pretty wild stuff. As soon as I get in the taxi and I start heading downtown, I can tell this is like a city I've never been to in my life. It's such a huge metropolitan area, and you'll look out one window, you'll see a guy like riding a donkey, hauling sugarcane, and then you'll look out the other window and see a G-Wagon heading to, I'm assuming, the club or his mansion or something like that. It's just so caught between this old world and this new technology. It's very fascinating.
Egypt is a land of contrasts, at once as modern as an airliner and as ancient as the very stones of the pyramids themselves. And although present-day Egypt is a shining example of 20th century progress, many of its customs go back to biblical times. A tour through the Egyptian Museum is a must for every visitor to Cairo.
This museum goes on forever, and there's just kind of stuff like laying around. Like a lot of the stuff's not even marked. It's still in bubble wrap, and it's just, it's got to be tens of thousands of items. But I know in my little 700 square foot apartment, I have 2 truckloads of stuff, so I'm sure after 5,000 or 6,000 years, you'd probably acquire a little bit.
The Egyptian Museum, built in 1901, has over 120,000 items in it. I was in there for like 3 hours and I didn't even scratch the surface. You can't imagine how many items. It would take you months to see it all. Months. The museum is a great first stop to kind of get your knowledge back up to where it may have been in high school. But I'm definitely more of a hands-on learner, so I couldn't wait to get out and actually see the pyramids and see the history for myself. About 3500 BC is when the Egypt that we know of started. We call it the Old Dynasty. From here, let's fast forward a few hundred years and a couple more kings until we get to the Third Dynasty. The Third Dynasty is this pivotal dynasty that catapults us into the age of pyramids. I hopped in the car with my guide and we headed over to an area called Saqqara. Saqqara is not only the agricultural powerhouse in the Cairo area, but it's also where the first ever pyramid that we know of in Egypt was built. It was built by King Djoser in the Third Dynasty, and he ordered his architect Imhotep to build him this awesome tomb. Imhotep, being this amazing architect, designed this step-like design in the shape of a pyramid, hence the name, the Step Pyramid. It was in this one simple shape that would change Egypt's history forever. Hey, like any rich and powerful person, it always turns into a pissing contest.
I am the king!
And so soon after, King Sneferu came to power, and he really wanted this big giant pyramid. He wanted one so bad, he tried 3 times just to get the one he wanted.
Just got to the red pyramid. She really hyped it up about how hard it is to get through this. And she said, bring water with you and be careful, and it's exhausting. So I'm a little nervous about walking through this pyramid, but I'll keep you all posted. There's the stairs to get up to the top.
All of these pyramids had several false doors to try to dissuade tomb raiders from getting in. This particular entrance goes up about a quarter of the way before it drops down 200 feet into the chamber.
To get down the burial shaft, you have to walk backwards, completely hunched over. There's the entrance, if you can see it.
Little did I know, the ancient king had a surprise for me at the bottom.
That's how long of a walk it is. Hunched over. this up. The lights. I'm inside the barrel chamber. I just had to walk all the way down. And I don't know if you can see, the lights went off. And it's like, it's pitch black and I'm in a pyramid. It's just like pitch black. But it's like really hot. I think because the power's off, the like air pump to get air down here is off too, but it's crazy. It's just quiet. And there was a pharaoh buried right there in ancient Egypt. It's just crazy.
I turned the camera off, I turned the lights off, and I sat at the bottom of the chamber, alone in the darkness. I was sitting in a room built for a king, at a time that would be hardly recognized today. As spooky and tranquil as it was, the Great Pyramids were calling. The three Great Pyramids stand next to each other because it's basically grandfather, father, and son. So, each of those built them in line. The pharaoh Khufu built the first one, and his son, and then the son after that, built the next two. Each one being smaller than the next, to not disrespect their elders.
Don't be claustrophobic in these things. Y'all, I'm inside of the Great Pyramid. Check it out.
I actually got screamed at by a security guard because I guess you're not allowed filming, and then I accused him of being a farce, so don't do that.
Just like the other pyramid, it was really hot in there. Super cool though. And then you're like looking at these pyramids and you're like, this is every kid across the entire world learned about this when they were young. And it's like to be here and to touch it and to know that you know what I mean? That it's just like real. And it's just as awesome as it is in real life. So.
The fact is, there's hundreds of pyramids across Egypt. And to say that something like aliens built it is just a slap in the face to the people who broke their backs to conceive the ones that still stand. When you're there, it's easy to see the progression. They started small and worked their way up over a couple hundred years. I mean, look what we've done in the last 100 years with technology. And they didn't get it right every time. Some of the pyramids are no longer around, lost in the sands of time. The biggest example of this is the bent pyramid. It's perhaps one of the biggest blunders in all of humankind. They started to build it up and realized that they got the dimensions completely wrong, and that it was going to look like this oblong shape. They decided to finish it out. The king didn't want it, so he said, hey, let's build a bigger one. Let me tell you, Cairo is it's a city of hustlers. Now, I'm not talking about daddy's money, Instagram, this, that hustlers. I'm talking about 2 or 3 jobs, bust your ass for a nickel hustle. And the best hustlers are pushing that cane. And I ain't talking about cocaine, I'm talking about sugar cane. Once this delicious green juice is pulverized out of the sugar cane, you get this light, refreshing drink that, you know what, quite frankly, I'm a little upset that the US doesn't have it. Or at least I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Give us your first try, guys.
Thank you.
Go ahead, meet my new friends.
Good?
Good?
Relax.
Nice. Good.
Before checking out the Cairo nightlife, me and the dudes I met at the hostel took the rest of the day to get lost in the Kana Klili. Cairo's most famous work.
Everything looks good though. Wow. All the boys. And we're about to eat some stuffed pigeon. What you know about that?
You guys are so funny.
Bo's first time smoking the shisha. What's your
It just tastes like nothing.
like nothing?
Egypt, you are a contradiction in every way. Everyone hates your chaos, but I thrive in it. You're like that crazy ex-lover that everybody runs back to. Don't ever change.